Hey guys, what's up? Tim Queen here, and today I want to talk about how to create a LinkedIn commenting strategy. Specifically, I'm going to teach you how to write way better comments that actually lead to real engagement and to real relationships. Now, when I'm posting something on LinkedIn, there's a lot of people like leaving some comments, and it's always warm words of encouragement. Oftentimes, it will just be a statement, and that a statement, to give you an example, say, I really love this post, that was really helpful. A statement is great. I appreciate each and every one of you. But here's the challenge with making a statement. A statement makes it super challenging for the other person to start a conversation. There's only so many things you can answer to that. You can say, oh, that's so nice that you enjoyed my content, or you might thank the person in some other capacity. If you want to use comments as a relationship building activity, you want to network, you want to grow a powerful network, you want to people remember your name, you want them to notice you and like maybe check out your profile and like learn more about you, or maybe like the other person feels encouraged because of your comment that they come over to your profile and then leave a comment on one of your future posts. If you want to get that, you can never make a statement. You have to start a conversation. And that should mean that any statement should always be backed by a question. So here are 3 tips how you can make a statement into a question. You can, of course, still thank the person. You can still acknowledge that you enjoyed the piece of content. But here's the first thing I want you to do. Be specific. When you're reading something, point out a specific sentence the other person has said. Like that could be an idea. It could be someone shared 3 tips you can share that you really liked tip number 2. So when you are specific, that allows the other person to then use that context when they're writing their reply. So for example, if you liked my tip number 2, I can then respond and maybe share some additional tips. Maybe tip 2 was just very short. I might throw in like another sentence which makes it even more clearer about tip number 2. So you're actually getting more value by just mentioning a specific detail. Now, a second tip, when you're pointing out a specific detail, add an additional bit of information about that tip. You can share a contrary opinion, or you don't have to like disagree with the person, but you could say, hey, the way you have phrased that, it sounds very generic, but in this one, from those 100 cases, there's also 5 cases where you also have to pay attention to this other detail, which could make it impossible for your formula that you were recommending to work because it was a generic formula for the majority of problems. So if you're pointing out like a detail that you're disagreeing with, do it respectfully. You don't want to start a fight. It's not going to get you anywhere. But like politely add an additional detail, what you like about the post, then share an additional piece of information or opinion, or point out a specific context where an additional tweaking might be necessary. This makes it even better to get a reply from someone, because now not only have you specified what sentence, what tip did you enjoy the most, but you also shared something of you, so you added value. So valuable, maybe the person writing the post didn't think of it. Maybe you shared like an exception that the person didn't take into consideration. Maybe for simplicity reasons, they just like try to keep it generic. And then you ask in the specific detail, the person might actually clarify, of course, you're right. So it's also often like a tool for you to help you understand something better by getting some additional feedback from the author about the problem. And then the third tip is you have to then ask a question. Using tip 1, providing a specific detail, you will often already get someone to reply about that specific detail. If you share additional information or your opinion or some exception or some additional resources that you feel would contribute to tip number 2, just doing those 2 tips, you will almost always get a reply specific to what you said. But if you really want to amp up your chances to 99.9999, then just ask a follow-up question about something specific regarding what you just said. For example, you want to say, hey, I really love tip number 2. I wanted to ask, hey, there is a situation where I tried this, but here were the specific circumstances, the special circumstances that are like different, and I didn't get this result. Do you have a tip if someone is in this specific situation, what they can do? And then you will often get free advice. And this can really help you if you have a specific business situation where one of those tips might apply, and then you're asking the question, you can use that to your advantage to get some additional information. And the overall process of doing all 3 pointing out a specific, sharing additional opinions or information about that detail, and then asking a question, it adds so much more value to the post. It makes a long comment. It will boost the post engagement. It will make the author happy because you're engaging, you're showing interest. A lot of times people posting and they never see any replies, any feedback whatsoever. So that can feel quite frustrating. So just you taking the time and creating a personalized comment and really engaging with what the person has to say makes such a much bigger impact that people will feel like more connected to you. They will be way more happier to reply to you, and they will actually feel good about engaging with you. And you will notice when you do that a couple of times with like the same person, like over a couple of days, you will notice people remember your name. They will look forward when they're pressing the post button. They will look forward to hearing your opinion about it. You might even notice that for some creators, their post content might slightly shift, that they're almost designing it for you to engage because they're looking forward to your engagement. And once you have left 10 really meaningful comments, and then when a person replied, you actually reply back. You just don't leave it like this. It's not like a statement and then you're gone. You're having conversations in public. After you've done it for a couple of days, a couple of posts, you will notice if you're not connected yet, the person might send you a connection request. You might get a direct message from the person. There will be real relationship building happening if you follow that tactic. And if you apply this to, like, let's say talking to potential customers or clients, you will notice that people start paying more attention to who you are. You don't even have to tell them, hey, I have this product. Now I might actually proactively check out your profile, click on your bio link, check out your featured section, Google your company, visit your website, check out some of your products, and I might just be inclined to ask you about this because they feel more connected. Most people walk around with a firewall on, like in fight mode. They're ready to punch away whatever cold email is coming their way. But if you build a relationship first and you are genuine about your comments and your questions and really engaging, you will almost become friends with a person. And then who do you trust most when it comes to solving problems? It's like your friends. Everyone knows a salesperson is there to sell you something, but a friend will always give you honest feedback and honest recommendation. So it's much more likely that someone has already lowered all of their guards when they're asking a question about one of your products. So they're much more likely to engage with you. Selling doesn't become a fight anymore. You don't have to overcome that many objections or hurdles because they're already convinced because of all of your previous interaction. They feel like you're a genuine person, you're fun, you're honest, you're authentic, and then selling becomes just a breathe and it's so much better and you get so much more success on LinkedIn. Now, what do you think? Let me know in the comments if you have ever tried a commenting strategy. Did you ever experience how one comment on a consistent basis actually led to an entire relationship? Maybe even met some people in person, found a client for life, or maybe even true love. Who knows? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to hear your comment success stories. And if you want to get more videos about LinkedIn marketing, content marketing, and how to use tools like AI, ChatGPT, to help you get your content done more effectively, then definitely make sure that you subscribe, smash the notification bell, and smash the like button. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.